Internet, a vast network of groups and communities, machines and devices, and seemingly endless amounts of potential. It's here on the web where hundreds of thousands of people from across nations and borders communicate and express their freedom of speech. Hundreds of blogs and posts every day are made by people who wish to speak their mind openly, yet a large sum of these messages are meant to be private. But are they really all that safe from someone tapping into your conversation? Enter Edward Snowden, a man who wasn't afraid to expose the facts of government spying in U.S. and other countries.
While working at the National Security Agency in Hawaii, Edward Snowden began to copy sensitive information from the NSA on May of 2013. These documents had information on the NSA's practices on which he found disturbing. Documents revealed that the NSA was spying on American citizens under the image of various programs. Snowden went to Hong Kong. On June 5th, the information was released in the UK's Guardian newspaper and revealed that Verizon was being demanded by the NSA to release info about the activities of their American customers. The Guardian and the Washington Times published the info that Snowden leaked about PRISM, an NSA program that collects and stores info from emails without search warrants. This violates the FISA Amendments Act of 2008. He fled to Russia, where he is still currently located. Before he released all this info, Snowden had a well-paying job, a comfortable house, and was in a relationship. What triggered this desire to sacrifice this all?
I don't want to live in a world where everything that I say, everything I do, everyone I talk to, every expression of creativity or love or friendship is recorded, and that's not something I'm willing to support. It's not something I'm willing to build, and it's not something I'm willing to live under. So I think anyone who opposes that sort of world has an obligation to act in the way they can. Now, I've watched and waited and tried to do my job in the most policy-driven way I could, which is to wait and allow other people, wait and allow our leadership, our figures to sort of correct the excesses of government when we go too far. But as I've watched, I've seen that it's not occurring. And in fact, we're compounding the excesses of prior governments and making it worse and more invasive. And no one is really standing to stop it. But what they found was that these programs have no value. They've never stopped a terrorist attack in the United States, and they have marginal utility at best for other things. The only thing that the Section 215 phone metadata program, actually it's a broader metadata program, a bulk collection means mass surveillance program, was in stopping or detecting $8,500 wire transfer from a cab driver in California. And it's this kind of review where insiders go, we don't need these programs. These programs don't make us safe. They take a tremendous amount of resources to run, and they offer us no value. They go, we can modify these.
We interviewed several people to see how much of an impact Edward Snowden really had.
Not directly, I wouldn't say. I mean, they've affected how I perceive the U.S. government.
Yes, they have. I'm more aware of the government spying on what I do, so you have to be more careful about what you put out online and what you search. That sounds so dirty, though. It just sounds wrong.
I'm someone who's very careful about what I put online, and I try to work really hard to do protect my privacy issues and my identity. So I think it's brought that issue more to the forefront in my mind and made me think a little bit more about
it. It's good to know the extent of the NSA surveillance program, I think, but at the same time, there were American operatives whose lives were put at risk. So, it's a give and take. Overall, I would say it was probably beneficial, but the way it was done probably could have been handled a little bit better.
I believe it wasn't beneficial because the government does have a right to spy on people to make sure for national security. So I think that he should have kept his mouth shut and did his job. He signed a contract saying that he wouldn't leak information, which now is putting the country at risk.
not in the way he went about it. I think leaving the country and then trying to leak information, it just builds more of a distrust of the government. And I think we already have problems in terms of bipartisanship in the country, and I think there's been a lot of blame being put on the Obama administration. So the manner in which he did it, no. Sharing information with the American public and having citizens be more in the know, a positive thing.
Domestic surveillance, yes.
I don't think so. I believe what they're doing is attempting to keep us safe, so I'm all for it. Because I'm not doing anything illegal online, so.
You know, that's such a difficult question because with the after effects of 9/11, I think that the United States, if another major event were to take place, then the government would be blamed for why didn't you know, why didn't you research this, why didn't you have people in place to try to stop this. So unfortunately, in today's existing situation with the kind of the transference of information being able to just take place like that across the globe, I think it's an important element. I do believe that it's a requirement.
Though the efforts of Edward Snowden have ultimately opened up the eyes of U.S. citizens and some government officials, the process in which the information was leaked was maintained poorly. Other countries that now have this information can use it in any way they want. This means that they can be potential threats to America or other countries. Whether Snowden can be classified as a spy or a patriot for the U.S. is ultimately up to the individual.